cares if one more light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares when someone's time runs out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I do.
G'day guys, my name's Dave Tran and welcome to another GuitarZero2Hero song tutorial. And by request, today I'll be teaching you how to play One More Light by Linkin Park. Now this is a really beautiful song and it has a lot more significance in light of recent events. Now for this song you'll be finger picking, and for the basics you'll need your guitar in standard tuning and you'll need a capo on the first fret of your guitar. Now if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to GuitarZero2Hero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. So in this tutorial I'll teach you the studio way of playing this song. I'll also teach you the solo, and for the beginners out there I'll teach you some nice easy chords that you can strum if you want to just sing along to it. Alright, so let's start with the studio version. Now all the tab up here will be relative to the capo on the first fret. So if it says 7th fret up here, it means 7th fret relative to the capo, which is actually technically on 8th fret. But we're pretending like our capo is now 0 fret and that's now 1st fret, etc, etc. So for the first position you'll want to push the 7th fret relative to the capo of the 5th and the 1st string, and you'll play that with your middle finger and your pinky finger. Now we're going to play a picking pattern that will be similar throughout the whole song. Now this picking pattern will consist of hitting a bass note of whatever position you're in. So for this particular position our bass note is the 5th string, and then for our second pluck of this picking pattern we'll be plucking the 1st string and the 3rd string at the same time. You won't be hitting the 2nd string, you'll leave that, so it's just the 1st and the 3rd at the same time. Now for the finger picking basics, your thumb should take care of the 6th, 5th and 4th strings, and your index, middle and ring finger will take care of the 3rd, 2nd and 1st strings respectively. Those fingers won't play any other strings other than the ones they're assigned to. So your index finger will pluck the 3rd and your ring finger will pluck the 1st. So one picking pattern will sound like this. Now you're going to play that picking pattern 4 times for this first position, which will sound like this. And then for our next position, you'll keep your pinky on this string, so don't let it go. Just slide it down 2 frets to the 5th fret of the 1st string relative to the capo. And with your index finger, you'll put it on the 3rd fret of the 5th string relative to the capo. You'll be plucking this for 4 picking patterns as well. So it'll sound like this. And then for our next position, again, you should keep your pinky finger on this 1st string, slide it up 2 frets back to the 7th fret, and your index finger will now go on the 5th fret of the 4th string. That's now going to be our bass note. We're going to pluck this for 6 picking patterns. And then for our final position, you're just going to slide this index finger down 1 fret and play that for 2 picking patterns. So in total, the verse riff should sound like this. Now remember, with this pinky finger, you should never lift your pinky up off that 1st string. You should always hold this finger down so that when you're going back and forth between the 7th and 5th string, you'll get a nice sliding sound to it as well. So that's it for the verse. That just gets repeated over and over. Now for the pre-chorus, we have something that's very similar. So we'll start with our first position, which looks like this. We'll play that for 4 picking patterns. And then we'll go to our second position for 4 picking patterns. And then for our third position, all we're going to do is leave our pinky finger where it is. Again, you don't lift that pinky finger. Take your middle finger and you're going to put it on the 5th fret relative to the capo on the 5th string. And we're going to play this for 8 picking patterns. So in total, the pre-chorus should sound like this. Then we get to our chorus, and our chorus is really easy because there's 2 lines, and for the first line we already know it. It's exactly what we learnt for the verse. So we have that's going to be played through twice. Now for our next line of tab, we're going to start with the exact same position at the 7th fret relative to the capo. We're going to play this for 4 picking patterns. And then for our next position, you'll slide your pinky down to the 5th fret, and your middle finger will push the 5th fret of the 6th string. So that's the top string there. So this is where the timing is going to feel a little unnatural because it's no longer in a set of 4. It's going to be played for 3 notes, and then we go to our next chord. So and then our next position, all you'll do is you'll slide your middle finger down to the 3rd fret. And you can lift your pinky finger, so it's just your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And now you'll be hitting the bass note, and the high strings that you're going to pluck are the 3rd and 2nd strings, open. So it's no longer the 3rd and 1st, it's the 3rd and 2nd. You're going to play that for 6 picking patterns. And then you'll take your index finger and push down on the 2nd fret of that 6th string and play that for 2 picking patterns. So the second line in total will sound like this. So now I'll teach you how to play the solo in the song. Now for the solo, we don't actually need a capo. So I'm going to take my capo off here, and all the tab up here is going to be relative to no capo. Of course, if you just left your capo on, it doesn't matter, but all the tab up here is relative to no capo. Alright, so we're going to start this solo up at the 13th fret of the 2nd string, and you're going to play this with your ring finger. This solo starts when Chester says do. On that beat where he says, I do, when he says do, that is where you're going to start plucking this note. So we're going to pluck it a total of 12 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 sets of 4, which is an easy way of counting it out. And you want to progressively build up the volume there. So you want to pluck it really lightly to begin with, and then build up the volume like that. Now after we've plucked it 12 times, you're going to pluck it again for a 13th time, but we're going to hit it and then slide down to the 11th fret of the 2nd string. So once we've slid down, we're going to pluck the 11th fret again, and then with our index finger go to the 9th fret of the 2nd string. And in total, the first line will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to continue with our index finger here on the 9th fret of the 2nd string. We're going to pluck this 3 times. And with our ring finger, we'll hit the 11th fret of the 1st string 3 times. And then with our middle finger, 11th fret of the 2nd string 3 times. And then we're going to go down to the 9th fret again, hit that once, and then go back up to the 11th fret with our ring finger. And we're going to pluck this 3 times. And then slide that up to the 13th fret, pluck this twice. And then go back to the 11th fret with our index finger. The timing between each note is going to be very constant, so you'll just keep picking and picking. So that line will sound like this. Now you're going to play that line twice. Then for our third line, it's basically identical with one difference. Instead of going back to the 11th fret, we're going to go back down to the 9th fret. So the third line will sound like this. Then for our final line, we'll start with our ring finger on the 11th fret of the 2nd string. We're going to pluck this 5 times. Then go up to the 13th fret twice. Back down to the 9th fret. Back to the 11th fret 3 times. And then with our index finger, we'll go to the 8th fret of the 1st string. 9th fret with our middle finger. Back down to the 8th. Then we'll go to the 11th of the 2nd string, and then we'll go back down to the 9th fret of the 2nd string. And then we'll end this full solo by just hitting that note one more time. So that final line will sound like this. And the full solo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now finally, for the beginners out there, if the finger picking is too hard, here's how you're going to play it with some easy basic chords and strumming. Now you'll need the capo on the 1st fret of your guitar. For the verse, we have 4 chords. We start with an E minor chord shape, then we're going to go to a C, then we're going to go to a G, then we have G again, and then a D/F sharp. To play a D/F sharp, you'll just take your index finger, put it on the 2nd fret relative to the capo on the 6th string. Your middle finger will go on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and your ring finger will go on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And you'll just want to mute the 1st string there. So that's D/F sharp. Now our strumming pattern is going to be really simple. It's just 8 down strums, so really nice and easy. Now up here in the annotations, you'll see chords in sets of brackets. Each set of brackets will represent one strumming pattern. Now in that last bracket we have a G chord and a D/F sharp. So that just means that both those chords are going to be within one strumming pattern. And you're going to split the timing of those 2 chords evenly, so it's 4 down strums for each of those chords, which sounds like this. So in total the verse will sound like this. Then we get to our pre-chorus, which is much easier. It's just 3 chord shapes. We have E minor, then we go to our C, and then we're going to play D. And we have D again, so that's played for 2 strumming patterns. And in total, the pre-chorus will sound like this. Then finally we get to the chorus, which just has 2 lines of chords. The first line of chords is exactly the same as the verse. So we're just going to repeat that line twice. For our second line of chords, we have E minor for a full strumming pattern. Then we're going to go to an A minor. Now one thing to note is that when we play this A minor, the timing is going to change a little bit, and the strumming pattern too. So our original strumming pattern's 8 down strums. For this A minor, and only the A minor, we're playing just 6 down strums and then moving on. Then we go to a G and we go back to our original strumming pattern, which is 8 down strums. Then we have G and D/F sharp in one strumming pattern, which is similar to what we have in the verse. So in total, the chorus will sound like this. Now for the very last chorus, you won't go down to that D/F sharp, you'll just keep holding on to that G until the end of the song. So now I'm going to be playing through the whole song in its entirety in the studio version. I'm going to play half the song with a strummed easy version just so you can hear what it sounds like in context with the vocals. So feel free to play those back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
Were the signs I ignored?
I hope you guys enjoy learning this song as much as I did. Make sure you head over to GuitarZero2Hero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and click the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the updates. Leave your thoughts, comments, questions, and requests below, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.